Are we recording? Good. Good. What's up, everybody? Good Thursday morning to you. I'm smoking an overly moist and properly packed Samuel Gowith Irish springtime flake in this Missouri Meerschaum corncob pipe, the shape of which I don't know. I never learned the cob shapes. Sorry. Is it a legend? Is it a Huck Finn? Is it a... I don't know. But we'll set it aside. Because I'm doing a video response today. Now, I'll say that I don't usually participate in too many video response contests, giveaways, simply because I've been blessed over the years. I've won more than my fair share. So I respectfully ask to be left out of the drawing, although the prize is pretty cool. Lots of good over-the-counter tobaccos and an ounce of Zin Pants. Now, who is putting on this contest, you may ask? Well, if you've read the description or the title, you probably know. Sorry, mosquitoes. This contest is by Padre Piper. If you don't know Padre Piper, please go subscribe to him. Go to the video that I'm putting down there. He's a fantastic YouTube pipe presenter. Very likable, very enjoyable to watch. You know, and a lot like a Boom Tar or a Miss Skeeter or a Sue Dunhill or an Eric or Angela. You know, just super instantly likable, instant classic. I don't know how else to say it. Padre, you're the man. And for his contest, he wants us to talk about what we wanted to be, what we wanted to do as a career at the time that we graduated high school, and how that worked out for us, versus what we're doing now for a job. So barring any disturbances from the dogs, I'll get through this and tell you my story. I think it's very interesting. I saw a lot of great video responses already. Tony Colomb and Max, and Amy and Parson Rick, Duke of Wales, the Wildcat Piper. A lot of cool video responses already. So, as a young child, I had the idea that I wanted to be a doctor, and more specifically, a cardiovascular surgeon. Now, I had to have pulled that out of my butt because I really didn't know exactly what all that entailed. But as I grew older into my, mid-teenage years, I felt what I thought was the call to full-time Christian service, doing it as a job or vocation, as maybe a preacher or a missionary. And I will say that I do believe that was definitely misguided, because I'm probably just meant to be a layperson. All Christians are already in, full-time Christian service. That's how you conduct yourself, how you act. That is your service, But I did feel at the time that I needed to do it as a job, and I guess I really can't recall exactly when I felt that. Maybe my sophomore year, early junior year of high school. But when I did, I kind of just put the blinders on, and that's a problem that I have today. Once I see a course of action, I put the blinders on, and I don't really listen to anything else. No other input matters. And so I assumed, kind of to my detriment, that, as I was on the path to being the valedictorian of my tiny, small high school, that that would give me all the scholarships and full ride to any college that I needed to go to. And so, without really even researching or talking to people in the ministry itself, I just kind of decided this is what I'm going to do, and this is how it's going to go. I'm going to become a preacher, and I'm going to go to a Baptist university, and I'm going to go on a full ride, and it's going to be great. I completely did not plan. And so as I was starting to get, as my senior year was winding down, and all these scholarship applications that I put in for were being, rejected, or I don't know what the timeline was, but by the time I graduated, I kind of decided that was not really the path that I needed to take, because the university that I wanted to go to was like super expensive, and I really didn't have any money for it. So I kind of decided at that time to just kind of go to the local junior college, which they did offer me some scholarships, and I accepted that. And I just took the time to I took the blinders off, and I just kind of opened up my mind to the possibilities of what I could be doing, just considered things. So I spent about a year in college, and I decided, I was listening to people, and decided that military service was the path that I needed to take. And talked with people, everyone said the Air Force is the best. So I signed up for the Air Force, and talking to the recruiter, I just asked a few questions. I was like, what career field in the Air Force will just take me anywhere in the world? And he says, well, security forces, the cops, they need them everywhere. It's the biggest career field. And I'm like, great, sign me up for that. Blinders back on, man. I'm not a cop. I'm really not. I mean, I served in the military. I probably should have looked for a career that was a little bit more geared toward me, probably something like computers or something. I probably could have done something, maybe even medical. Maybe I should have done that. But I just said, I'll be a cop. Blinders on, and I just went forward. And I did join the Air Force, spent 6 years in. I was a cop. Did a great job, but that's it. I'm not that alpha aggressive, super cop that you probably need. I'm probably too lax for it. So I got out. I did spend a couple years overseas afterwards as a private contractor in Iraq. And I came back and basically it was 9 years out of high school. I had a 6-year military career and no other schooling, no other training. And, the natural path was for me to become a local police officer or a prison guard here. But I didn't really want to do that. That's not where my heart is. And so I did some jobs. I did like a job for about a year and a half, and then that place shut down. I was like a shipping clerk, returns guy for a local hydraulics company, or a division of a huge hydraulics company. Ever heard of Parker Hannifin? I don't know. Big industrial outfit. That, of course, was not where my heart was, and I was only with them for a little over a year, and then they shut down our little store, our little local outfit. I don't know, our local shop, whatever you want to call it. So I basically was laid off. I was given about 3 months notice They gave us a decent severance, decent enough for a guy who'd only been there a little over a year. But that gave me time to take off the blinders and to really kind of open myself up to possibilities. I had military service. I had the GI Bill. I was newly engaged. And so I decided, after much consideration, that I needed to go to nursing school. I mean, it was just mentioned offhand by, they were like, Texas has a shortage of nurses. And so that just kind of got the gears rolling in the old coconut there, that I needed to be a nurse, because it was, it's public service. It's kind of like being a cop. It's like protecting and serving. You're a public servant. You're helping out people in bad situations. And so it kind of seemed, it was like the other side of a coin, the other side of that public service coin that was where my heart was. I really enjoyed being a member of the military, serving the country, serving the public, but the job wasn't right. So in the year 2000, I started nursing school. I went to school for 2.5 years. Finished up in the middle of 2012 as a registered nurse, and I've been doing that ever since, and I love it. I did work at the local hospital in this town for about a year, and then I got a job offer at a hospital about 20 miles that way, which I've worked at for just over 3 years. I love it. I got experience on the med-surg floor, the emergency room, and I'm now I'm one of the nighttime charge nurses. The big boss! But it is a tiny hospital, so it's not like I'm the charge nurse at a huge facility. But I do help to oversee the nighttime operations of the emergency room and the med-surg floor. Still get to practice, still get to keep up with my skills. It's pretty wonderful. It is my calling. It is who I am. I am a nurse. It's pretty great that I've been able to, that my path from high school was very rocky. My career trajectory, or whatever you want to call it, was very wild and weird. And of course, there were a lot of personal events during that time that just made everything complicated. But I wouldn't trade it for anything, because I love where I've ended up. And I've achieved a moderate amount of success in my field. I'm happy. I'm able to, I'm happy with that. And I will continue to be a nurse until I'm dead. I'm sure I'll partially retire at some point in my 60s, but I can't ever see myself just not doing this. So that is my career story. What I want to be, or what I wanted to be when I grew up. Which, I guess it's interesting, because when I was a kid, I wanted to be a doctor, and now I'm not a doctor. I may, at some point in the future, go back to school to get a master's, or to get a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, so that I can become maybe like a nurse practitioner. But I don't know. Who knows? But I do know that I'm going to try to keep the blinders off, not just career-wise, but in all of life. It's not good to keep blinders on and not receive input from others. It's important. So thank you, Padre, for the contest. Thank you for the topic. And if you listened, thank you for listening. God bless you all. Smell my beer.